Hey guys, how's it going? It's Mitch here with a long overdue update on some new arrivals, recent finds, whatever we're calling them these days. I got a huge pile next to me. I'm going to try to breeze through them as fast as I can. So I might not talk too much about each individual release, but hopefully there'll be some good stuff that you guys enjoy. First up is Cat Stevens T for the Tillerman. This, of course, is the Mobile Fidelity Sound Labs original master recording. I got this one. I'm going to hide behind two records here. Pull a David Michael. I got these two from the same seller for a steal of a deal. I think I paid $60 combined. Of course, this is CCR's Cosmos Factory. Yeah, so both these records have pretty significant warps. Really nice clean vinyl, just warped. So it took me a while before I had a chance to play these guys, and so I messaged the seller and told him, hey, there's no way that I expect any kind of returns or exchanges. It's been far too long. But just a heads up, some of the stuff in your audiophile bin that I bought from you is pretty warped. The CCR isn't bad enough to keep it off of my turntable. It still is annoying, but the T for the Tillerman is pretty bad. So with those two things being shown and the warp stuff being said, if anybody watching this has one of those vinyl flat things and feels like they could fix those for me, I'd be happy to send you those records, let you do your thing, and pay for your services or work out a trade or something like that. Pretty disappointed that both of those are warped, especially the T for the Tillerman being unplayable. So yeah, if anybody's interested in working out some type of deal for use of their vinyl flat, just let me know. Up next is a bunch of stuff I bought picking through a collection. Most of it is going to be up for some kind of sell or trade. I went over to this guy's house. He had a bunch of Japanese pressings, primarily soundtracks to Broadway musicals and movies. So there's a lot of stuff that was cool to see, but I wasn't really interested in picking up. And then he had a lot of late 70s through the mid 80s Japanese audiophile jazz reissues. Turns out most of it is swing and big band era stuff. There's some Billie Holiday and Ella Fitzgerald, as you'll see here, but so not the most sought after jazz in the world, but I figured I'd take a swing, see if anybody is interested in any of this stuff. If not, a lot of these look like they've never been played, so I don't have a problem keeping them. First one is a Capitol Collectors album. It's just, yeah, Capitol Collectors items. It's got, I think, looks like it's got 14 tracks on here. Everybody from Billie Holiday to Benny Goodman, Louis Armstrong. This is, sorry guys, my throat's really bothering me. This is Ella Fitzgerald, Someone in Love. Really nice copy. Billie Holiday, it's a Commodore Records compilation. Ella in Berlin, Mac the Knife. It's Back in Town, Mel Torme with the Meltones. Dinah Washington, Smoke Gets in Your Eyes. Some Anita O'Day. More Dinah Washington with, I think this is, yeah, Dinah Jams. Nice reissue of Music for Torching. It's a Billie Holiday classic, of course. Ella in London, some later Ella. It's a live recording, of course. Ella Fitzgerald sings the Cole Porter Songbook. This is a compilation called Rocking Chair. Honestly, I don't know much about it. I just liked the cover and it was super cheap. So those, like I said, turns out there's a couple more here. Oh, just one. I also found this, which is really cool. Les Paul and Mary Ford. It's kind of I think it's part of a. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's a wonderful vocal series reissue. So this is from the late 70s. So it's just a cool little comp or a reissue, I should say, of Les Paul and Mary Ford, which I grew up listening to with my dad. This one's still sealed, so I figured I'd scoop it up. Alright, so that's all the stuff that I got at that guy's house. Like I said, most of that is up for trade or sale if anybody's interested. It's not too much up my alley there, but also if, over time I get more and more into it, I wouldn't be opposed. It's just nice to have really nice, clean Japanese pressings of anything when you're listening to it. So, anyway, we'll move forward. This is Stevie Ray Vaughan, Double Trouble Live. This is, of course, the Analog Productions pressing. Still sealed, haven't had time to play it, but I think this puts me, there might be one Stevie Ray Vaughan pressing, or album I should say, pressed by Analog Productions that I'm missing. I think that's the one where he's with Albert King, if I'm not mistaken, but I have the 33 RPM Stevie Ray Vaughan Analog Productions box set, and this wasn't included in there, so I figured I'd scoop it up. Excited to listen to it. Now we're diving into a big box of Japanese pressings that I bought from the vinyl community's own Noble Records. So Dylan and I have been chatting up on Instagram every once in a while. I've bought a few things from him before this box and kind of brokered some deals with some really big kind of artist-specific collector friends of mine. I think actually might just be two to the same Pink Floyd collector that I'm friends with who doesn't have much social media presence. So I ended up being able to help Dylan out, sell a bunch of stuff to my friend, a couple of really rare bootlegs and stuff. And so a couple of weeks after that, this is probably about 5 or 6 weeks ago, Dylan and I put together a package deal so he could send me a big box, and there's some really cool stuff in here. So let's just dive in. The Knack, get the Knack. This is an original Japanese pressing, super, super clean. Like all the stuff that Dylan sells me is. He knows I'm picky, he's picky. So the stuff that comes to me is always as described, always very, very clean. Super impressed with Dylan as a seller. And he's a good guy to have as a friend. So here's Black Sabbath Paranoid. This is a early 80s Japanese reissue. Same reissue series, self-titled Black Sabbath. And then the rest of these just also happen to be Led Zeppelin. So a couple of these are original first issues, first pressings, whatever you want to call them. But the majority of them are reissues. But I kind of made a goal at the beginning of 2019 that I really wanted to work on a few things this year. And kind of seriously go after them for the collection. And then, of course, just picking up bits and pieces every so often of sweet stuff that I find. But my three kind of goals, and I think I mentioned them in my last video, were to round out my Led Zeppelin collection. It was really, really weak. In general, I only had a couple of albums on vinyl. And so I decided if I was going to get them, I wanted to get really nice copies. I need to complete my Queen collection of Japanese pressings. I'm like 2 or 3 in, so there's quite a bit of work to do there. And then, man, it's probably been a year ago now. I couldn't afford it at the time, but I found a collection of Van Halen Japanese presses, and I forwarded it to Billy. He made an awesome video featuring those records, but honestly, I've been jealous of them ever since. So I look forward to hopefully also in 2019 getting at least a start on my Van Halen collection. But like I said, here comes some Led Zeppelin. I think these are in order. I'm not sure. I've been playing them like crazy, so they're just in my kind of new arrivals cube. Anyway, here's Coda. This is a first Japanese pressing. In fact, I think this is the only Japanese issue, if I remember right. Up next, we've got Song Remains the Same. Physical Graffiti. That one's a first issue. Led Zeppelin 4. Well, they are a little out of order. Excuse me, guys. Led Zeppelin 2. Here is Led Zeppelin 1. Houses of the Holy. Got Presence. And Led Zeppelin 3. So really quick story about this, you guys. Dylan sent me, it was like 14 records in a box. And everything was very, very clean. I was super impressed. Really nice condition stuff. And he sent me a copy of Led Zeppelin 3 that was perfect vinyl. But it had some water staining on the back of the cover. And so I shot him a message and said, hey man, you gave me a really good price on this Led Zeppelin 3, and I don't know if you noticed or not, but it's got some water staining on the back. I'm super happy with the copy. It's really clean. The vinyl's great. Not worried about it. But if you ever come across a cleaner copy, let me know. I'd love to upgrade. And Dylan went above and beyond and just sent me this copy, which is has no water stains on the back and is every bit as clean. It's the same reissue. And just told me to send them back the one that had some water staining on the back. So as far as anybody questioning whether or not Dylan has great customer service or is worth buying from, I would highly recommend watching his videos and feel more than comfortable purchasing from him. He's a great seller. Alright guys, so last but not least is this bad boy. Jimi Hendrix RE Experience. This is, of course, the Jimi Hendrix Experience's debut. This is the 2016, I believe, reissue. It's mastered by George Marino from the original two-channel tapes, and these of the estate reissues with this sticker are all pressed at QRP in Salina, Kansas. These reissues sound awesome, you guys. So far I have this one and Jimi Hendrix Super Hits, and this one is so good it's making me wonder if I should just spend the 17 bucks or whatever these are running a piece and get rid of my early German copies of Hendrix stuff that I have. So yeah, super impressed with these. Anyway guys, like I said, it's just been a long time coming on a new arrivals update, and I wanted to kind of hop on and tell everybody hi. As you can see, I'm in a little bit of new surroundings. We moved about 3 or 4 weeks ago, so I'm still working on getting my music room together. Don't have any art up and not quite as organized as I would like it to be right now, but it is usable, so it's nice to have my music unpacked and out and available. Anyway, I hope to be able to do a room tour video sometime soon. But until then, guys, take it easy, and we'll see you soon.